This is the day the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and lift our voices in song. Sunday morning, and here we are, coming together from near and far. We're unity, a home for you and for me. I've got family waiting for me. Every Sunday I'm glad to see we're unity, and that's the way it should be. My, we're so happy it's Sunday. This is our very own Unity Day. We're here where we belong with all of our family. We're unity, a home for you and for me. Now the sun is shining and I am too. I feel so happy, how about you? We're unity, a home for you and for me. We're so happy that love abounds, the brothers and sisters all around. We're unity, home for you and for me. My, we're so happy it's Sunday. This is our very own Unity Day. We're here where we belong with all of our family. We're unity, a home for you and for me. We're unity, a home for you and for me.
Well, good morning, Unity of London. It's so great to see everybody as I sit here and join you from Unity in Saskatchewan. We welcome everybody that is returning and part of our long-term family. We welcome those that are just getting started to be part of our family. And we have open arms for anyone just getting familiar with Unity and joining us for the very first time. We're grateful that everyone's here today, and especially grateful for the people that are sitting in our building at 501 Nelson Street in beautiful London, Ontario. Yay! And I look forward to the next time I'm there. So September's order is divine order. There's a divine order in everything. You may not be aware of it, but it is present in everything, revealing its divine origin. It's also in your body, in your mind, and in your soul, both fostering your life and controlling it. If you're able to attune to the vibration which emanates from God, there will be harmony in your life and in everything you do and in your relationship. And I would say, if you attune with the vibration which emanates from God and within you, there will be harmony in your life. And a little bit more about the power of order for September. It's recognized by the color of olive green. So if you'd like to experience more order in your life, wear some olive green, think of olive green, and understand that it is located in the area of your navel in your body, so you can focus on that area to quicken your power of order. And it's the ability to organize, balance, sequence, and adjust. And the affirmation that goes with divine order is, my life is balanced and in order, and all is well. So take that in and think about that for yourself, that your life is balanced and in order and all is well. And welcome home to everybody that, again, is returning, or if you're just starting, we welcome you to our home and we hope you make it your home. And at Unity of London, we celebrate abundance. It's all around us. You just have to look at nature, look at so many things, and you will see abundance. And we are all open to new ideas. new ideas that bring more abundance to us and also more spiritual awakening. And together we share our mutual support as we connect and transform. And as we transform, we evolve peace, and it's peace within us because peace starts with us. We can only control ourselves, and it's wonderful to be in a place of peace. And there at Unity worldwide, it's based on the 5 basic principles that I invite you to affirm with me now. Principle number 1, God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. And principle number 2, I am naturally good because God's divinity is within me and in everyone. In everyone. Principle number 3, I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. And principle number 4, through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. And principle number 5, and as always, I ask you to say this with zeal, I do my best by living the truth I know. I make a difference. Each and every one of us makes a difference. And how do we do all of this? Well, we inspire people to make a positive difference in the world. And how do we inspire other people to make a positive difference in the world? Is that we are the change that we want to see. We make a positive difference in the world and set that example to let people know that they can make a difference, and they do make a difference. It's also by coexisting. I think there we go. Yeah, it is coexisting by providing fellowship and education for spiritual seekers of all walks of life. In Unity, we do believe that we can all coexist in harmony and in peace. And we do that by sharing our spiritual awakening and helping others to be aware that we can coexist. And now we're going to have another wonderful song by Mr. Jim Chapman. Take it away, Jim.
Well, thank you very much, but as I say every week, maybe you shouldn't clap till you hear the song. This is a tune about abundance and spiritual awakening. That's a pretty good combination considering what... I've got to find the right song. Oh, there it is, there, yes. And considering what Sylvia just told us, this is the perfect song, I think. Abundance and spiritual awakening. Put your glasses on, Jim. I can't see this morning for some. You ever have that? Some days you can see them, some days you can't. You know, you just... Oh, that's much better. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Jesus loves the little children, all the little children of the world. Red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in his sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world. Everything is beautiful in its own way, like a starry summer night, snow-covered winter's day. Everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way. There is none so blind as he who will not see. We must not close our minds, we must let our thoughts be free. For every hour that passes by, the world gets a little bit older. It's time to realize that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Everything is beautiful in its own way, like a starry summer night, snow-covered winter's day. Everybody's beautiful God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way. We shouldn't care about the length of his hair or the color of his skin. Don't worry about what shows from without, the love that comes within. Gonna get old again now, but everything is gonna work out fine. Just take a little time to look on the good side, my friends. Straighten it out in your mind. 'Cause everything is beautiful in its own way. Like a starry summer night, snow-covered winter's day. Everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way. Let's all of us sing that together. Everything is beautiful in its own way. Like a starry summer night. Like a starry summer night. Snow-covered winter's day. Everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way. Thank you. Beautiful song, isn't it? Ray Stevens.
Excellent song, Jim, and you're right, it's a perfect choice for today. And to remind us that everything is beautiful and every person is beautiful, all in our own way. And as most people know, if you're new attending Unity, Unity was founded well over 130 years ago based on affirmative prayer. So our co-founders, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, more in particular, Myrtle, realized about affirmative prayer. And she would invite people to send her a letter, a request for prayer, and she'd write them back a prayer. But today things have changed, and you can just pick up the phone any day, any time of any day, and call and dial 1-800-NOW-PRAY. And at the tower at Unity Worldwide Ministries, there's a group of divine beings always waiting at the phones for people to call in for prayer. So remember, if you're in need for prayer, or you know someone else that might be in need for prayer, suggest they call 1-800-NOW-PRAY. Of course, everything's confidential, but it's a wonderful experience. And if you haven't tried, I invite you to maybe make that an intention sometime this week. Call 1-800-NOW-PRAY, and I don't think there's any of us that wouldn't enjoy more prayer, and we all have our little challenges through life, and prayer makes a difference. Also, if you're at the building in Unity of London in London, Ontario, there's a prayer box at the front of the room, and we invite you to put a name, a list of names, yourself, anybody that you care about, but put a name or names on a piece of paper, put it in the prayer box, and those names will be prayed over for 30 days from the prayer chaplains at Unity of London, and then also sent down to Unity Worldwide for additional prayer. Today, our prayer chaplains for people that would like individual one-on-one prayer. Pauline will pray with you if you're in the building, and if you're online and you would like individual one-on-one prayer, just put a note in the chat room and we'll set up a private room for online for you to have individual prayer with Wilda online. And now I invite you to, I believe our next slide is prayer. So I invite you to join me in prayer. So I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so, and become comfortable in your chair. Taking all of your awareness from the outside and coming within your body and into your heart space, where you can feel your heart beating, and have a couple of nice deep cleansing breaths, knowing that you are breathing in all the good that surrounds you. And as you exhale, we let go of all that no longer serves us. We relax our shoulders. We let go of whatever busyness we were involved in. We make no thought of what's going to happen past this moment. Let's just all be here now together. And you can probably feel your heart beating. And I remind you that all of our hearts, the hearts all around the world, are beating. And when we focus and we tune into the life force that emanates and penetrates and motivates all that is, spirit, divine mind, we are all one. And today, we hold in prayer all of our unity members, our families, and our friends, all of the spiritual gatherings that are happening. And in particular, for unity, we hold Unity Ministry in Motion and unity.org, our headquarters, in our prayers. And I feel called today to pray for our country, Canada. What a wonderful place. We pray and we see within our imagination because we know that we can make a difference as we do our prayers, and we affirm that all of our political leaders are also divine beings. They also have a divine power of order, the divine powers of imagination and understanding. And we hold in our thoughts and our minds, and we see our spiritual and political leaders. For even though there may be some more political than spiritual, they still are spiritual. And I see a deepening and a quickening of their understanding of what's best for all of us in Canada, not just the few, but the many. We are rich with resources. And yes, physical resources that might be in mines or in the ground as oil or crops or whatever those resources are. But as people, we are filled with divine resources. And so we choose to see the good. We choose to believe the good. All the noise that is not good, we see it dissipate and leave. We know that our prayers make a difference. We know that our thoughts, the thoughts that we hold in our mind, the image that we hold in our minds are powerful. They make a difference. Whisper to yourself, I make a difference. And so I invite you this week as we learn from the lesson that Pauline will share, we learn from our fellowship. We also choose to look at all the good and believe that there's more good coming. And all the negativity, we pay no attention to. We know that it's there to move us through whatever we're moving through. But always life is working out for us. And Spirit only wants the highest and greatest good for all of us. And we believe this is happening right at this minute as we send our love around the world, and we in particular invite our political leaders to become more aware of their powers and their divinity. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. And now I believe Dawn is going to come up and read from the Daily Word and introduce our wonderful speaker.
Thank you, Sylvia. Good morning, all. Today's Daily Word is entitled Free. I am free through my awareness of God. Visualizing freedom, I may think of a bird soaring above the earth, a child running across a park, flying a kite, or a waterfall cascading into a river that will continue its journey as far as I can see. Beyond those exhilarating images, another, more personal example evokes a feeling of freedom, my connection with God. God is limitless, unbounded. When I align myself with the Spirit of God within me, I feel likewise limitless. This is where my freedom lies. No matter the state of my life or the conditions of the world, I remain free in God. I face each day with hope and positive expectation, just as the bird that soars, the kite that glides, the waterfall that roars, I move freely through life because of my oneness with God. Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3, verse 17. Today's speaker is our beloved Pauline. She's been an active prayer chaplain ever since 2012. Boy, that was a long time ago, wasn't it? She's a past president of the board of directors here at Unity of London. She's a published author and a certified life skills coach and communication coach. Pauline embarked on a multi-year journey and received her certification as a licensed Unity teacher. With her presentation entitled Refreshing Your Spiritual Life from Blah to Bliss, here she is, our beloved Pauline Duncan-Thrasher.
Thanks, Don. Thank you very much, and it's so good to see all these smiley faces and some people who have returned from holiday. Have you ever, you don't have to say it out loud, but I know I have done this, forgotten that you had some fresh food in the fridge, and maybe you put it way in the back to make room for something else. And then somebody, maybe your spouse or your roommate, said, do you have you cleared out the fridge lately? You reach back in, and to your chagrin, you pick out this stuff, and it has green on it, and it's not meant to be green. Stale food. Or it might be bread that you put in with the brown sugar to keep the brown sugar soft and tender. Well, it doesn't work for me because the bread becomes as hard as a rock. So you're saying, Pauline, why are you telling us all that? Because sometimes our spirit, they missed all that, but it doesn't matter. You got to hear it. Sometimes our spiritual life can become cold, frozen, tasteless, lacking in any color or meaning. So my message today, that is drawn from a wide variety of authors, is about how to refresh our spiritual lives. It's important to recognize and appreciate where we are spiritually. Because where we are spiritually is absolutely going to have a profound effect on life generally. It affects our health, certainly affects our emotions. It affects how we respond to other people. A rich spiritual life that we can create means a rich life. Period. So this message has a wide variety of authors, as I shared with Marie France, from a woman who is trained in Dharma, a recognized Tibetan philosopher in the 20th century, Charles Fillmore. And if you haven't read the book, Unity, The History of Unity by James Dillett Freeman, that has fascinating anecdotes that even Wendy hasn't shared yet. So I'll share a couple of those. Because in essence, these were all people struggling as we struggle sometimes to be more spiritually aware, to be happier, to have that sense of order in a mind that can become chaotic and disorganized. Do you ever feel inside a little chaotic, a little discombobulated, and you're thinking, why? I'll share something personal. I woke up, usually I sleep right straight through the night. I'm so blessed and so thankful. But I didn't last night. I woke up at 3:30, went to the washroom, and I knew why I was awake, because there were thoughts swirling. And some of those thoughts had to do with something I could not change. My gym, the gymnasium that I've been going to for years. I've talked to you about how happy I am with Zumba, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All that happy dancing, no more. Our lovely Zumba teacher was fired. Now we have to sign in and register ahead of time. And the one class that I went to last week left my legs so sore from here down because it was this what it was. First of all, it was a person with a really gruff voice. Do you know how you get used to a certain voice? So this was someone I'd never seen before. He was wearing a shirt that said a big S on it, Superman. I thought, uh-oh. I went in expecting some fun dancing. Do you ever expect things in your life? You expect something you're used to, and something totally out of the blue comes in. He had a stopwatch. That should have alerted me. And it was, when I went home and told Dan about it, he said, oh, Pauline, that's interval training. This is what I'm just going to do very briefly. This is what it was like. Breathe in. So it was about breathing, which was good. That kept me there for 45 minutes, although I was going, and it was, keep on going with weights in your hand. And don't stop. And he's saying, keep going, breathe. And then there are a few people in the class. These are all senior women. One man. And one woman uses a puffer. This was totally alien to what we wanted and needed. So I didn't go in Friday. I thought, I'm not going back. And on Saturday morning, I phoned, spoke to the lovely, lovely Irish voice person at the front desk, and said, who's on Friday? And when she told me, I said, I didn't say I'm not going, I just chose, because we have the power of choice. And I said, what's happening tomorrow, Saturday? Oh, it's Zumba, Pauline. I thought, yay. No, it wasn't. Nobody came to teach us Zumba. There were 5 of us just waiting. I'm sharing that with you because my chagrin about all this kept me awake at night. It woke me up at 3:30 in the night. And I thought, Pauline, you're supposed to be spiritually rich. What can you do? So I tried breathing in and out. I said my release prayer. I release and I let go. Let Spirit run my life. My heart is open wide. I'm only here for God. Get rid of that thought. Get rid of that thought. Not that thought, but the thought of the gym. And I woke up again at 5:30, 4:30. I thought, oh, well, I'm going to wash my hair and have a shower, and then I'll go back to bed later. And then I dreamt a lot. I'm sharing that because I don't want you to think that I am impervious to all the discombobulating thoughts. So with all that in my mind, I come back to our message today about creating a spiritually rich life. What are some practical ways to deal with those unexpected, unwelcome happenings? And I talked about my gym, but it could be something like a sickness of a dear person or the death of a dear person. How do we stay spiritually rich when those things are flooding our minds? Jesus said a long, long time ago, I am the vine and you are the branches. And when I heard that in school, I always thought, as many of us do, that meant that I was to go out and spread the word. But it's way more than that. Because if you think of a vine, a grapevine, and you think of the branches on that vine, where's the fruit connected to? The branches. So we, as the branches, have the possibility, the power, the requirement, the message, the opportunity to yield fruit. All kinds of fruit. Peace, love, kindness, generosity. We have that power. We have that potential, just like the branches attached to the vine. Now, there was a story that I read, and I won't share it. I was going to read it directly, but I couldn't get permission from the author because it was the wrong email. So basically, it was this. Somebody moved into a neighborhood, and he got all excited because right next door, adjoining his property, were grapevines. Masses of leaves, and he said to his wife, oh yay, all those vines, that means luscious, delicious grapes. He was excited. And then the next day, he looked out, and to his dismay, his neighbor had these big shears, and he was cutting all the green leaves. Just cutting. And he went over to him and he said, oh, you don't like grapes? And the neighbor said, well, sure, I love grapes. Well, but you're cutting. And the neighbor said, you're a city boy, right? And he said, well. So the neighbor explained that you have to prune. If you leave all those leaves and they cover up all the sun, then how will the sunshine get in? And I'm sure Jack had to do some of that in his apple orchard. And I know that Dawn and Teresa and Rob, it's so good to see you. I saw you come in. I'll bet those people all do weeding. Sometimes weeds are good for you. You can eat them. I know that Rob came and told us that in the summer. But we have to be alert to what we need to weed in our spiritual lives. We have to be alert and be willing, as Charles Fillmore said, to adjust, and that's part of order. This is what Charles Fillmore said in The Revealing Word. The divine idea of order is the idea of adjustment. And as this is established in one's thought, mind, and activities will be at one with the universal harmony. So we didn't say, cut out everything that is interfering with your spiritual life, but adjust. Is that not a gentler, kinder word? Adjust some of our thinking. Adjust some of our ways of being so that we can reap a rich harvest. Chaos or calm? We talked about it in our power of will. We get to choose. Choosing not to choose. Oh, I'm not going to think about that right now. I'm just going to sit there and be very attentive for 20 minutes on Sunday, but no, I've got other things to think about. Watching TV or going out to thrifting. Choosing not to choose is a sure way of having a blah spiritual life. Choosing not to choose daily prayer, daily meditation in whatever form you want is not going to yield anything if you just ignore the opportunities. In the story of unity, James Dill Freeman talked about Charles asking Myrtle if they could carry on correspondence when she decided to leave the city they were living in. And she wrote such a beautiful little letter that I share an excerpt, because I know many of you gain your inner harmony and serenity from being in nature. So you will be able to relate to what Myrtle said. There was a basket meeting way off in the woods. The sermons were quite good and the spot was divine. Near the preacher's stand rose a great ledge of rock that overhung a small, still stream. It stretched for half a mile or so. Oh, it was grand. I went up on the top gathering ferns and mosses, the most beautiful mosses. One's foot sunk down among them. Green and silver gray they were, and the most picturesque nooks and grottos. Oh, to me came the messages then from the divine Spirit, more direct than through his human messengers. The good, simple-hearted country folk enjoyed seeing me enjoy it and confessed it was mighty nice. They saw rock and moss and listened decorously to the man of God, while I, Myrtle, in a kind of charmed life, was a part of all I saw and a part of God. What have I said? But you understand me, Charles. You know there are times when we go out and seem to become a part of this great Spirit of the universe. So enriching your spiritual life doesn't just happen in here, in a dark room with artificial lighting. It can happen when you're out there in your garden or in the meadow or by the beach. When you are in tune with nature and universal divine spirit. Charles and Myrtle looked for the truth wherever they could find it. And to this day, whenever Unity School receives a letter from somebody who wants to argue about their belief, there's only one answer. We see the good in all religions, and we want everyone to feel free to find the truth for themselves wherever they may find it. And that's our philosophy here at Unity of London and all unities. On October 6, 1931, Myrtle passed on. She died. She called it invisible life. And just a little while before she was to die, she passed one of the Unity workers. And Charles and Myrtle had a great relationship. They were called Papa Charlie and Mama Myrtle. So they didn't believe in titles. And she told one of the workers that she wanted to make a change. And the worker said, "Oh, what kind of change?" I believe that it would be easier to do the work that is ahead of me from the invisible side. "Oh, you mustn't do that. We need your help and inspiration, your spiritual guidance here." "You know that you will have that anyway," she answered. At the first service without her, this is what Charles said. And I share it because I know some of you have suffered big losses of family. This is the first service that he was at in all the years they'd been married without Myrtle right beside him. Personality sorrows and grieves when the bodily presence is withdrawn, but the sense of absence can be overcome when we realize that there's a spiritual bond that cannot be broken. And we know that this spiritual bond is the only real bond that will endure. What does that say about us spiritually and our connection with each other? And life to Charles was, we've heard, it was an amazing adventure. He went out speaking after Myrtle died and attracted hundreds and thousands of people to hear him. And he once asked, he liked to make up affirmations, by the way, and he'd write them in big, bold letters. And his writing was like that of a young man. This was in his 80s. And he said to a friend, "Do you know what the most important words in the world are? Christ in you, the hope of glory." We see divine presence in everyone. And whether we call that divine presence God or Christ, we see in our divinity hope. Now from a whole different author who wrote something called Pure and Simple. Doesn't that sound great? It sounds refreshing. It sounds like a spiritual tonic. And her name was Upasika Ki Nanayon, one of Thailand's most respected 20th century Buddhist meditation teachers. And I read this. You can get this free, by the way, this book, Pure and Simple, online. It's 56 pages. I want you just to hear what I say at the beginning, and if you agree, just go. Proliferation of thinking is what creates suffering. The difference between a bird landing momentarily on a branch and a bird building a nest, settling in it, and deciding to stay there, refusing to move. Have you ever had thoughts in your head, like I did in the middle of the night, where you're trying to change something, maybe your own whatever, something, you were just fussing and fuming about it? That was you taking those negative, chaotic, fussing thoughts, like the bird, landing on the branch, building a nest, settling down into that negativity. Don't try and get me off. I'm comfortable here, even though it pains me awfully. So we know that thinking is about our thoughts. Sometimes we create big stories around things. We make ourselves a martyr, a victim, or a victor. And it's hard to let go unless you see the drawbacks. Unless you see the drawbacks. You clearly see this negative thinking just gives me a headache. And I rarely get headaches. Last week when all this chaos was happening, I had a headache every day. I thought, why am I getting a headache? And then I remembered when I was teaching in a school that was turmoil, and I was in turmoil, getting a headache every single day. So it was totally connected with my negativity. If you're going to let go of anything, you have to see its drawbacks. You have to see what it's doing. Maybe you're letting go of, my favorite food, dark chocolate. Before I let go of it, I have to see that, the price has gone way up in stores. Even a little bag of Chippets used to cost $4.99. Now it's $6.29. Plus, all that sugar is not really helping my body. So if I see all the drawbacks, maybe I can let go of it. Just an example. Are you holding on to anything in your spiritual life? Maybe doubting yourself. Maybe saying negative things about yourself. Maybe letting fear hold you back from doing something good. If you see the drawbacks, you can let it go. And she says, it's like grabbing hold of fire. When you feel the heat, you let go of your own accord. And you're not going to do that again. It's being aware. We're going to be starting a new book on Tuesday. And I'm so thrilled and so delighted that Lorraine chose this book. She didn't choose it all by herself. She asked people for some choices, but that was on one of the possibilities. And it's by John Bruna, called The Wisdom of a Meaningful Life. And he was a Buddhist monk for many years. And I wanted to just share two aspects from this book. The first is what someone said about the book. In The Wisdom of a Meaningful Life, John Bruna proclaims the simple, if not elusive, truth. You are the master of your own happiness. Do you agree? Beg your pardon? Yes. It's hard to accept that, because once you accept it, you think, well, if I'm miserable and sad, I can't blame anybody. Oh, rats. I can't blame the gym because I was annoyed and aggravated. Rats. I have to choose. I have to choose. With skill, personal insight, and loads of practical wisdom, John Bruna shows us how to stop waiting for outer circumstances to make us happy and empower ourselves to create truly fulfilling and meaningful lives. And Haruki Murakami said this. And I thought, I don't know if I want to share that one with people. But I thought about it, and I thought, pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. And that was a quotation from a marathon runner. I've never, has anybody in here ever, Mike has, and Amber has, marathon, and Teresa has. Woo. And do you reach a point where you're saying, this is agonizing, I want to stop? And that's when the pain of going beyond your physical self. And I was feeling that last week, by the way, with all that up and down stuff. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. We can choose to figure out how to deal with the pain and accept it and adjust to it and say, here it is. I'm ordering my mind in a peaceful, harmonious way. So one of the I skipped to the back. I didn't read all the middle, Lorraine, don't worry. And one of the habits that he suggests is labeling thoughts. And he said this is a great way to deal with stress or anxiety. I won't read it all, just a tiny bit. This is a very effective technique to reduce stress, rumination, and mind wandering. As disruptive thoughts arise, taking your attention away from what you're doing, simply label them and let them go. And I'll give you the example, what I was doing. Labeling thoughts. So in the middle of the night, I could have said, just fussing, and let it go. And maybe it would have come back, and I could have said again, just fussing, and let it go. He says it works, and he's been doing this for a long, long time. Once you label it, bring your awareness to your breath for a moment or two, and then bring your attention to what you're doing. If you catch yourself worrying again, label it and let it go. So the breathing. I was talking to Dan, and I was saying, this is good. This is about breathing. Breathe in and breathe out. He said, well, Pauline, if you stop breathing, you're going to be dead. But the breathing in and breathing out. Is it simple? No. Is it practical? I hope so. I hope that what you take away from today is a thought of you being the great branches. And you having the capacity to yield love, kindness, peace, gentleness, and compassion to everybody around you and to yourself. To yourself. Because we all need that. We need the order, the harmony, the peace, and the rich spiritual life. Who wants to live in blah anyway? Bliss is way better. And your form of bliss may be very different than my form. Does that matter? No, it doesn't. Divine presence within, our source of order, peace, and harmony. Let us now go into meditation. Oh, we do that breathing in. We just relax our body. We breathe in deeply to our belly. If you want to make sure it's your belly, just press. I don't have to look for my belly. It's there, quite obvious, but just breathe into your belly. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in. Breathe out. As you're breathing in, you are breathing in your awareness of your capacity to be divine presence. Because you are. We relax our body. We still our mind. We contemplate nothing at all. And if those thoughts come flittering in and out, let go of the flickers. Breathe in, breathe out. Let go of the chatter. Breathe in, breathe out. Let go of distractions. Breathe in, Breathe out. And if a visual helps you, you can put any visual you want in your mind. And keep breathing in, breathing out. Your spiritual, refreshing tonic. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. As we prepare to return, we know that meditation is a way to replenish our spiritual life. Prayer, meditation, good deeds. Letting the fruit of your branch that is connected to the divine bear great fruit. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. And you don't have to clap. It's okay.
Well, thank you so much, Pauline, for such a wonderful, a wonderful lesson and simplistic. And I think I will say that I believe everybody would agree with us, or with me, sorry, that we truly appreciate also you sharing your personal story. And I affirm and I see a great new Zumba teacher coming to your gym real soon. But an easy lesson to follow and some practical ideas to put it into place. And once again, Jim, you're up for a great song.
I've said this many times before, that there's some kind of a link between Pauline and me. And I hope Dan doesn't find out. But there is, because it seems every time Pauline talks, she's talking to me. And I know I've said it over and over, and it astounds me when it keeps happening, and it happened again today. When I get ready for a week to come and play tunes for it, I always try to, if I can, either something that's occurred to me that week, something that's inspired me, and I want to share a song about that, or I try to tie it into whatever the message is. And Pauline keeps me apprised of what her messages will be, kind of the tenor of them. And so I got it this week, what she was going to do, and I put it in that little creative part of my brain, and I just left it alone. Because I can write a song. I'm going to write a song today. I can do that, but I don't like to do that. I much prefer to have the song write itself. And it just, and I've told you this before, it just kind of comes to you. So I packed it away back there, and 2 weeks went by, and it's Friday, and that's kind of my deadline, and I didn't have anything. So I didn't have anything original, and I felt a little bad. I wouldn't have anything for Pauline that would kind of support what she was going to say. So I went and looked for a couple of tunes, because I needed a couple of tunes. And I found two that I think, well, you already heard one, you're going to hear another one in a second or two. But then Pauline starts talking, and at one point she talks about, and here it is again, this magic. She says, the master of your own happiness. Be the master of your own happiness. Well, listen to this song and tell me that there wasn't some spiritual connection here between Pauline and me when I picked this song, and then she talked about being the master of your own happiness. And I'm going to start this with 11 words that I would bet you big money have never been heard on this stage before. And now for something completely different, a song by Monty Python. Some things in life are bad, they can really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a thistle. It'll help things turn out for the best. And always look on the bright side of life. Bottom, bottom, bottom. Always look on the bright side of life. When your life seems quite adverse, the way to make it worse is to cry and moan and blame the universe. But if you want to make it better, you better not forget her, that the captain of your ship is always waiting in your mirror. So always look on the bright side of life. Bottom, bottom, bottom. Always look on the bright side of life. If life seems jolly rotten, it's something you've forgotten, and that's to laugh and smile and dance and sing. When you're feeling the dumps, don't be silly chumps. Just remember Bob's your uncle, that's the thing. 'Cause there always a look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. There's always work to do, but the work is up to you. You're the master of your destiny. Oh, wait a minute. You're the master of your destiny. I cannot make it clearer. Happy thoughts can chase the blues, and whatever else you do can only bring a happy future nearer. So always look on the bright side of life. Oh, always look on the bright side of life. Well, let's do it all again. Some of you are doing it now. Here we go. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. The wisdom of Monty Python.
What a great choice, Jim. That was excellent. And one of my favorite movies. Now we come to the time where we thank people for the sharing their time and their talents and their treasures with us at Unity of London. It keeps us thriving as a spiritual community and being able to uplift individuals and be united in love and fellowship. And I got to say as well, Jim, I thought of this while you were talking and then lost it, but it'll come back. Don't never be surprised that you're somewhat connected to Pauline, because we're all one. We've been trying to teach you this. Now, come on, pay attention. But anyways, it's wonderful that you do connect to spirit so well and find the right and perfect songs. So we affirm prosperity and abundance for Unity of London and all spiritual communities in all forms, in all realms, in body, mind, and spirit. So I believe there's a couple of people going around the room with the offering bags. So you can give offerings through the collection at this time by cash or check, but you can also donate by using our machine in the bookstore, Visa, MasterCard. We have Tidely and Unity of London. And remember, whenever you email money to unityoflondon@hotmail.com, to put on a note as to what it's for. And I believe we've gathered, so I invite you to join me in blessing our offering. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And now for our announcements for Unity of London. And isn't that a lovely new slide that Lorraine has made up? It's wonderful. So announcements, da, 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 da. Sacred Circle is happening today. I believe we do this every other week, and it starts at 12 o'clock, runs till 1. And the purpose is to have an open format to discuss and ask questions about spiritual matters, maybe something about today's service, or maybe something that's occurred for you during the week and you just want to share and ask questions and have a discussion. And remember, everyone's welcome, and whatever is said in the circle stays in the circle. Also, Pauline mentioned about the next book study. The group has continued meeting on Tuesdays and started talking maybe about the book, but the actual discussion on the book starts this Tuesday, September 9th. And as always, it's on Zoom. It's on the same Zoom channel that we use for Unity of London Sunday services. And it runs on Tuesdays from 9:30 Eastern Standard Time to 10:45, and it's on the Zoom. And if you would like more information, speak with Lorraine if you're there in the building, or anyone online, or if you think about something later, just email unityoflondon@hotmail.com, and Hilda will make sure it gets to the right person and you'll get an answer. And also coming up, Unity World Day of Prayer. So for September 10th and the 11th, Unity is focused on praying for the world. And if you go to worlddayofprayer.org, you can see what's happening. There's different talks, there's different workshops and things going on. But it's a great time for us to remind ourselves. And maybe we can just do this all week so you don't have to even think about what day it is. Pray for the world. Pray for yourself. When you're praying for yourself, you're praying for the world. And when you pray for the world, you're praying for yourself. So join in this week for World Day of Prayer. Also excited for you that this Friday, Pizza and a Movie. I know we've done this in the past, and of course it's been a long time, but sounds like a great movie. I think I might look up the movie and I'll watch it on my own, maybe, since it's a little bit of a flight and a trek for me to get there to London. But what the bleep do we know? I don't know. What the bleep do we know? Well, watch the movie, have discussion afterwards. And I love that somebody put on the newsletter or somewhere about, bring a anti-gravity chair and a blanket and snuggle in, and there's going to be popcorn there. So, and it's a suggested love offering of $10. And we, as everyone knows, we never turn anyone away. If you would like to attend, we welcome whatever offering that you might be able to give. And if it's not money, maybe you can help out with the popcorn and cleanup or things like that. I truly hope you have a great crowd this Friday. I'll be with you in spirit. And next week we have a singer, Gracella Moniz. I don't know if I'm saying her Gracella's last name correct. But it's going to be a great treat to have a young lady with, I'm sure, a very wonderful voice sing for us next week. So make sure you put that in your calendar. Unity next Sunday, 10:30. It should be in your calendar anyways, but enjoy. We'll all enjoy Gracella next week. And Pauline is starting a 6-week online course, Healing and Wholeness, facilitated by Pauline. And of course, for anyone that is attempting to gather CE credits, if you're working towards some kind of an accreditation, or you just want to get credits for, I believe it is an accredited class or course, and just speak to Pauline and check on that. And what you would need to participate, it'd be great for you to have How to Let God Help You by Myrtle Fillmore, Myrtle Fillmore's Healing Letters, and Christian Healing by Charles Fillmore. And again, more information, talk to Pauline, and I guess if you can apply through courses at unitycanada.org, that's telling me that it's quite likely an accredited course. So, but regardless, it'll be a great time, and it will deepen your spiritual transformation. And then I've already talked about the first two things. On the 21st of September, we have a new guest speaker that I don't believe we've had before, Rev. Thomas DeShooter, and he's talking about the inner economy, abundance from inside out. Don't tell anybody, but I think that's the only way it happens. Wednesday music nights. So this says September 3rd. I'm guessing it's actually for this week, which would be September the 10th. And Jim has Frank Ridsdale, Craig Manning, and two other local music legends. So 4 musical special people for only $10. You can't beat it. $2.50 a person. As always, advance tickets if you want to email jimchapman@rogers.com with $10 or pay $10 cash at the door. It is a great deal and it's a lot of fun. So if you're looking for something Wednesday night, you know where to go. Unity. And now we have our prayer for protection. So I invite you to affirm in our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yay, God. And now we'll gather around the sanctuary, and it looks like it's going to be a decent size, a good size circle this morning. Hold hands, and once we're kind of organized, Lorraine will start the music for our peace song. Excellent. Well, have a great day, but don't leave yet. Wait, there's more. So now we come to the time that if anyone either online or in the sanctuary would like to ask Pauline a question, talk